Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. Congratulations to you, yes, you listening to this, for paying attention to what the hell's happening in crypto, despite the fact that we're in a very not-so-fun bear market. Now, I say not so fun. I'm always having a blasty blast. I started my YouTube channel at the bottom of the last bear market, middle of December 2018. I was having a grand old time. So now here, 4 years later, still having a grand old time. Rain or shine, good time. Because there's so much opportunity. You know, it's fun when we have the euphoric phases and the blow off top, but it's also fun prepping for the next run. I love all of this. And so kudos to you also for paying attention. And I want to let you know, you're not the only one. You know, the wealthy people behave differently than the typical retail lemmings out there. This is true in the stock market, it's true in crypto. In fact, take a look at this headline from crypto media outlet U Today. Large XRP holders accumulate so much XRP that they set records. Here's another headline from the Crypto Basic. XRP holders with 1 million to 10 million XRP rapidly accumulating, setting new all-time highs. And so, folks, it's easy for people to feel scared in bear market territory, especially when prices drop precipitously. And you're not bad or weak or stupid if you feel that way. You're just a normal human. I'm the weirdo for not feeling the emotions about it. I'm like a robot on this. Beep, boop, beep, you know. I'm an XRP bot, fine. But it's perfectly normal. I'm just telling, even though I'm never going to tell you to buy or sell or hold, I can just tell you this. These are the times, as far as I'm concerned, certainly for myself, where there's the most opportunity in terms of positioning for, you know, future runs. And it's very clear that the wealthy people out there, the whales, and some of them are institutional level, they understand that and they behave very differently than the typical retail speculator. And so I also want to share a story, because I like to share both sides of things. There's this headline from the Daily Hodl. Bitcoin reaching its breaking point before major capitulation, says crypto analyst Nicholas Merton. Now, I don't pretend to know where the market's going to go, but this particular analyst, you know, I've been following him since I jumped into crypto. It would have been either November of 2017, or maybe I first came across him in the beginning part of December 2017. But I came across a lot of analysts back then, and I will tell you this, he's the only one that I'm still following after 5 years. I came across a bunch of other ones. He's the only one that I'm still willing to even listen to. Because I think he does a good job. I think he does a good job. And then there was also this from Markets Insider. Binance's former chief financial officer did not have access to the company's full accounts during his 3-year tenure, report says. Folks, doesn't that sound a little weird to you? The top finance guy, the CFO, not having full access because reasons? We'll talk about it. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this, XRP is at 34 cents, Bitcoin at $16,821, market cap for the asset class $817 billion, and Bitcoin dominance at 39.57%. For most of the last week, it's been about these levels. You got the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 28 out of 100, so market's still in fear. Not extreme fear currently, but you're probably not surprised to hear that if you've been keeping up to date on what's going on here. But I like to set the record, which is why it's worth, especially in videos where I'm talking about price, I just like to, for historic purposes, just have that on the record here. But I also want to highlight this, because in XRPsville, looking pretty good so far as I'm concerned. The chart that's in the middle of your screen right here is number of new XRP accounts activated. And this is fascinating, especially in light of the fact that whales are continuing to accumulate. So, admittedly, the spikes that you're seeing here to the right, this is where I'm circling for those that you look at. This is when the FTX scare happened a month ago. And then this one here was not quite as notable, but still pretty big jump to the upside. That's when there was the scare about Binance. Is Binance insolvent? And I do not think that Binance is insolvent. I think they are solvent. But there are all sorts of concern. There was an actual bank run on Binance, but there was no concern. There's no hint of even a potential withdrawal or anything like that. Everybody that wanted to get their money out of Binance, they did, and life goes on to this point. But even after that, it's just interesting to see, like, we're seeing abnormally high creation of new XRP accounts still. These are separate events. Like even the most recent one, Binance, that happened over a week ago, and we're still seeing abnormally high accounts create over 2,000 new accounts per day. When before all this with FTX and everything, I mean, let's see, 1,000 to 1,500 is kind of ranging between 1,000 to 1,500 new accounts per day. And then we saw, a week ago, close to 5,000 new accounts created. When FTX collapsed, we saw a day where there was almost 10,000 new accounts created. It's just interesting to see how people are behaving, including the accumulation of XRP by very large entities. So let's jump into this piece from the Crypto Basic. XRP holders with 1 million to 10 million XRP rapidly accumulating, setting new all-time highs. XRP big bag holders with holdings with holdings within 1 million to 10 million XRP have been rapidly accumulating, Santiment Feed said in a tweet yesterday. Now, I'm a big fan of Santiment. They do on-chain analytics work. It's fantastic. From what I've always seen, they approach everything from an unbiased position. They're just reporting on data and facts. And that's nice because it's so easy to see bias against XRP seep into all sorts of analysis from so many big names in the world of crypto, but we don't see it here. Santiment and Glassnode, from as far as I'm concerned, they both do a stand-up job in terms of their on-chain analytics. They just let the data speak for itself, and they point it out to people. Anyway, they right here, this is from Santiment. This is the official tweet from the other day. Hashtag XRP network, whale, and shark addresses that share the 1 million to 10 million XRP tier have been rapidly accumulating to end 2022. In December, both the amount of these sized addresses, 1,617, and their percentage of held, which is 7.23%, have hit a new all-time high. But folks, isn't it the end of the world right now? Aren't we supposed to be very scared? Crypto markets plummeting, never to recover. On top of that, XRP getting attacked by the SEC, suing Ripple, and as a result, effectively XRP holders into oblivion. That's effectively what's happening anyway. Tell you just these wealthy people who behave differently than the typical retail speculators, they're not looking at it like that, as evidenced by, it's just data. It's just data. You can make of it what you will here. But they're counting on there being rosier days ahead, and so am I. And maybe they're in part factoring in the SEC v. Ripple case positively concluding. Perhaps that's reasonable. I think most people following this from an unbiased perspective think that, it's probable that we're going to find there's good outcome for XRP holders, even if Ripple technically loses or has to pay a fine. It's probable that we're going to get justice for XRP holders, specifically in terms of having a path forward, just on a go-forward basis, some sort of clarity for XRP itself. And then the piece reads as follows. The reason for the recent accumulation highlighted by Santiment is not specified, but it is worth noting that accumulation is generally bullish in the crypto markets, as it implies that these big bag holders expect the asset price to rally in the short term. Consequently, a price surge usually follows accumulation by whales. Yeah, and they're not the only ones that are thinking that, if that's what they're thinking. In fact, there's analysis from Rakesh Upadhyay, who is a chart analyst for Cointelegraph, and I don't want to go into the analysis. I try to stay away from that in this channel. There are other channels that do the chart analysis stuff. That's not my shtick. I'm curious about what they have to say, but I try to just leave it at that. But he notes that it's possible in the short term you could even see a surge of XRP up to 51 cents, and considering it's at 34 cents right now, that would be a notable jump. But even if it's not in the short term, I mean, don't you think the whales are not likely to sell at a loss? I'm just saying. And even if we do see more negative price action to the downside, if there's capital there, I think all sorts of them are going to be purchasing more. I sure as hell will, I'll say that. So I'll share this article, and again, this is analysis from Nicholas Merton, chart analyst. Not to scare anybody, but to me, if price goes down, that's not scary. And I very genuinely mean that, because I don't think that is any indication whatsoever in terms of long-term viability for Bitcoin or XRP or pick your asset. The whole asset class just moves in tandem. People get scared. I don't think this has pretty much anything to do with long-term viability of the crypto asset class. I think pretty clear crypto's here to stay. And as a result, I'll just treat it as an opportunity, because that's what makes logical sense to me. So this piece reads as follows. Crypto analyst Nicholas Merton is warning that Bitcoin is inches away from a breaking point, which could cause a major capitulation event. In a new video update, Merton tells his 511,000 YouTube subscribers that what has historically been a buy-the-dip support level for Bitcoin is now disintegrating. He said, quote, "The fact that we are well suspended and not even coming up to retest this 200 days moving average, as well as the 200-week moving average, is a big worrying sign here. And when we just zoom out here, you can start to see what I mean here at the 200-week usually was the buy the dip opportunity for Bitcoin. It is now acting as resistance alongside the cross of the 200-day below that 200-week. So this is already one big issue here, end quote. And I've been mentioning in recent days, because I'm happy to share positive and negative news, just sharing with you what's being reported. There are a lot of analysts out there that do think it's more probable that we will see a new low. So the most recent low, I don't remember the exact dollar amount. It might be cited in this article, I can't remember. But it was around 15,500. And it's possible we could see that even if you're just looking at chart analysis. But then I look at that and people are saying just on that we may see it. And then I think, okay, well, we haven't even seen the contagion spread regarding the FTX fallout. Is it going to spread? And there's no way to know for sure, but I don't see how it doesn't. I still maintain that position. It'd be weird if it didn't, just in my humble opinion here. Piece continues. Merton foresees a scenario where Bitcoin briefly rallies to about $18,000 before turning around and triggering a capitulatory event that takes the flagship crypto asset to new lows near $13,000. Now that, folks, if that happens, that's going to scare the hell out of a lot of people. If that happens, and it's an if, I will not be scared. To me, that would be such a move to the downside, and I can imagine the degree to which altcoins are going to be hit. I will back up the damn truck, and it's just, fire sale. I will buy everything. Everything's on sale. Just shovel it into the back of the truck. And even though I won't be able to buy the bottom because that's not realistic, it's never even a goal of mine to buy the bottom. And I understand that once I purchase, it'll go down lower to whatever degree. I don't care. I think that at that point, I'm close enough to the bottom that when we do have another rally, the multiplier effect from these levels is going to be way better than when people start buying in after they feel more confident that the bottom is way behind us. So I'm happy to be the person that's doing what many would perceive as scary. But to me, I just get excited about it if given the opportunity. So even though my net worth is going down because I hold so much crypto and it takes a big hit, I don't care. I wasn't going to sell it anyway. What the hell do I care? As long as I've got income, I've got money coming in, I can put food on the table, all that crap. What the hell do I care? So I'll be excited about this, even though it's destroying my net worth temporarily. I just don't care. And so here's another quote from Merton. With Bitcoin, I want to emphasize our breaking point here, which is if we really break below the previous lows and this line of sloping resistance, if we can't hold this descending line of previous resistance, that is going to be a major warning sign. Essentially speaking, if we see price, even if it comes up here towards the previous resistance range or previous support range at around $18,000, and we zigzag below here, breaking below those previous lows of about $15,400, that is your warning sign for major capitulation, end quote. And so that's his personal perspective. So we'll watch it. If that happens, does it mean it's going to go even lower down to $13,000? My gosh. The amount of altcoins I'll buy. I won't be buying Bitcoin if that happens, by the way. Because come on. It's a virtual almost 100% chance that if Bitcoin hits that level, everything's going to be cratering. Absolutely cratering. And I'm going to be interested in the altcoins because I believe that's where, the true life-changing wealth is going to come from at this point. Not that you can't make good returns investing in Bitcoin over some period of time, but in terms of, the true life-changing wealth over a relatively shorter time frame compared to Bitcoin, it's clear where the action is. It's just we're already at a point where there's so much money in Bitcoin. Fine, yeah, it can still be very positive. I'm not pretending it isn't. If you compare it to especially equities or something like that. Or, well, compared to anything else, actually, compared to pretty much just about anything else. But if you compare the altcoins to Bitcoin, then there's no comparison there either. Now into this. From Markets Insider, Binance's former chief financial officer did not have access to the company's full accounts during his 3-year tenure, report says. So again, to be clear, in case you haven't heard, my official position is that I do not believe Binance is insolvent. If they are insolvent, then they've tricked me because I see no evidence that they're insolvent. If you look at on-chain metrics, I think that it's close. It's clear this isn't even close to what was happening with FTX. You can see what's going on with addresses. So there's that too. And, there's nothing like that. Okay. I don't think that there's been any sort of misuse of customer funds. There's no evidence of any of that. If any of that's happening, then I'll just be like, whoa, surprised. But I believe that, and I can also simultaneously say there's some weird behavior going on lately. There's stuff from CZ that I've highlighted where he's evasive about answering questions, which he isn't normally historically. I've been watching him in interviews for many years. Suddenly, recently, he's on CNBC. He was a bit evasive. It was hard to pin him down on certain questions. There are other questions where he just outright wouldn't answer, including why don't you have a big four auditing firm come in and, put the rubber stamp on this. And then he just pretends like, cryptocurrency exchanges, it's hard to find a firm that even knows what they're doing. He's making up all this crap. That's just not true. If you go to talk about the big four, absolutely, they're well-versed on crypto. They know how to do it. They have big-name customers, including Coinbase. But for some reason, Binance won't work with them. I don't know if they got turned down for some reason, unbeknownst to me, if they don't want to reveal specific information. But I can tell you that there was this evasive behavior from CZ, which is just weird. And maybe it's not some huge deal. But I don't know what it is. All I can tell you is that it's strange behavior. And now we're also seeing this report. Internally, there's weird stuff going on. This is bizarre. Folks, it's just bizarre. The CFO doesn't have access to all of the company's financial accounts and records? What? That makes no damn... That's the one guy that should have access to all the stuff. Are you kidding me? That's weird. It's just weird. We can all agree on that at least. It doesn't mean that Binance is insolvent. I'm not saying that. There's something weird though. Can't we just agree on that at least? Hopefully. Binance's former chief financial officer Wei Zhu did not have access to the company's full financial accounts during his nearly 3-year tenure, Reuters reported, citing 2 people who worked with him. Zhu, who left Binance in 2021, did not immediately respond to insiders' request for comment. The report follows promises from Binance CEO CZ, who said that the company would lead by example on embracing transparency after the downfall of competitor FTX, the once $32 billion crypto empire started by Sam Bankman-Fried. Binance, which has processed over $22 trillion worth of trade so far this year, has financials that are more akin to a black box and mostly hidden from public view, according to a Reuters analysis of the company's corporate filings. The outlet reviewed filings by Binance entities in over a dozen jurisdictions where the exchange says it has regulatory licenses, registrations, authorizations, and approvals, which include locations like European Union states, Canada, and Dubai. Quote, the filings show that these units appear to have submitted scant information about Binance's business to authorities, end quote. That's what the report said. And also, quote, the public filings do not show, for example, how much money flows between the units and the main Binance exchange. The Reuters analysis also found that several of the units appear to have little activity, end quote. And so, look, I'm just saying for a company that keeps putting out this message now, this is their forward-facing message of, we want to have full and complete total transparency. Well, where is it then? Yes, they did the proof of reserves thing with that Mazars firm, which is now backed off from Binance. But what about your liabilities and everything else? Why is that all secret? If you want to be super-duper transparent, this is in conflict with what you are putting as your forward-facing message to the public. You want to be transparent. You want to show everything. You want to provide this reassurance. Then do it. That's your message. It's not me saying it. You said you want to do that. But then you're not doing it. Why not? Like, how could I not ask that question? That's a perfectly reasonable question. And again, I don't think that they're insolvent. I don't think that they're misusing customer funds because there's no evidence for that. Why would I think that if there's no evidence for that? All I'm saying is this is weird. And Binance are putting forward this marketing, this message. Hey, we're Mr. Transparent over here, except for they're not entirely transparent. Is what it is. There's something going on, and it may not be a huge deal, or maybe it is a huge deal. I don't know. I'm literally saying I don't know because how could I know? They're not being sufficiently transparent. I think that's perfectly fair, but you guys tell me what you think in the comment section below. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.